Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is the GXSimmer. We are on Chapter 8 of Nina and Amanda. And boy, are there some details coming. And if you like what you see today, please like, share, subscribe, click the notifications bell so you always know when I'm coming out with new content. Let's get into Chapter 8 of Nina and Amanda. Now, as we last left off in Chapter 7, Tony and Amanda were talking about maybe taking their relationship to the next level. And it certainly looked like that is where it was headed. But then Amanda sort of like freaked out and was like, I can't do this right now. I've got my daughter to consider. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. And she got really scared. She got nervous and she lost her temper and she hurt Tony. And he told her to go home so he could have some space. And right now we're not sure if this is the end of them before he even got a chance to start. So here's where we are now with the story. Amanda is at home. It's been 2 weeks since she's heard from Tony. He hasn't called her. He hasn't emailed her. Nothing. Text, nothing. And she's really wondering if she really, blew this out of the water. So, it's kind of a bad place for her to be in right now. She's just thinking, what did I do?
Amanda doesn't hear from Tony at all. She wonders how bad she hurt him and is angry at herself. Another heart breaks because of her. What a track record. She's supposed to have her daughter this weekend, but she's not feeling good at all. Mostly she needs a mental health break. So she calls Nina and cancels. Nina yells at her for being irresponsible. Amanda says she's going through a lot and needs a break. Nina calls her during the weekend to add insult to injury, leaving nasty voicemail messages.
Your daughter thinks you don't love her anymore, Amanda. This is the third time you've canceled this month. Be a parent, why don't you?
Lecture her on being a parent? It makes Amanda pissed off. Amanda feels selfish, and it's getting out of control if it's hurting her child. She feels like she's lost Tony. But she had to be honest. No, screw this. She opens a bottle of wine, pours herself a glass. She doesn't want to admit it. But her heart is breaking. She misses him. On Monday, she's on her way to work. She stops to check the mailbox and sees someone coming out of the apartment next door. She can't believe her eyes. Tony? She exclaims. He turns and is caught off guard. Amanda? What are you? Are you? Amanda feels awkward. Did you? He feels awkward too and can't seem to get the words out. I live here, Amanda says with a smirk pointing to the apartment behind her. Me too, he says pointing back. So, this is the place you were moving to? She asks. He laughs and says, yeah. And that's your apartment? Yeah, Amanda says. That's my apartment. Holy crap, Tony says with a laugh. Well, have you had breakfast? No, she says. Well, come inside, he says. But I got to go to work. I have work, she says. You're the boss, right? Yeah, she answers. You have employees? Yeah, she says. Ask them to cover for you. Come on and have some breakfast. Okay. She laughs. He opens the door for her and she walks in. A small table is set up with chairs, couch, with a TV. It is much bigger than his old apartment and that ugly pink porcelain pig in the corner. So, what made you move here? She asks as he prepares breakfast for her. For what I was paying for that studio, I could have a 1-bedroom and more space. Easy decision, he says. Plus, it's a great apartment. Nice town, closer to almost everywhere else. What's not to like? That was the same reason I picked mine. Rent was a steal, she says. How long have you been here? He asks. Well, almost a year. Used to have a house. After I got divorced, I didn't see the need to have so much space, The only thing I missed was the master bathroom. It was like a spa. Never owned a home. Always had a small studio because I didn't need much. Worked 12 hours a day and on weekends went places, did things. Never needed a lot. But saw the ad and thought, having a bedroom would be nice. he says as he serves her. Hope you enjoy it. Eggs and toast? She asks. I love it. She takes a bite and smirks as she says, oh, this is good. Really good. Better than my grandma. The secret is the butter. You put it on top while it's cooking, melts down evenly, flavors it up, he tells her. You're quite the cook, she says. I'd like to think so, he tells her. When you live alone, it's easy to go out and spend money on delivery, fast food, and restaurants, but it gets old. So I learned to cook, and now when I want something, I make it myself. I've missed you, Tony, Amanda says. Have you? He replies. Yes, very much. I'm sorry I hurt you, but I wasn't ready, she says with a tear coming out of her eye. You know, he says as he leans on the table, I wasn't going to call you. Ever. I was going to change my number and just move away. Never see you again. But when I saw you at that mailbox, my heart leapt from my chest, and all I wanted to do was take you in my arms, hold you, and kiss you. I've missed you like hell. Tony, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, she says with tears as she reaches for his hand. It's then he reaches across the table and kisses her. I really like you. So ready or not, I'm here. He kisses her again with his palm against her cheek. Come with me. Let me show you a tour of the bedroom. Okay, she says as his arms wrap around her and he carries her into the bedroom while kissing her. After, they are sitting on the couch. She's wearing his robe and he's in only his t-shirt and sweatpants while they have some water. Okay, here's the deal, he says. We live next door to each other and you said you're not ready to be in a relationship at all. Tony, no, let me finish. I got a point coming. So if you're not ready, I will wait until you are. Simple as that, he says. Just like that? She asks. He nods. But aren't you? No, he says. You don't care if... I know that you won't, he says. And she looks at him sideways. This is strange. I know, right? He asks with a smirk, but I'm patient. Okay, but my kid, if she sees us... That's easy. I'm your friend Tony and I live next door. Amanda chuckles. Oh, this is bizarre. Is it? Yes. Maybe it's fake. Maybe someone is trying to tell us something. You really read into that, don't you? Amanda asks. It makes you think, doesn't it? He says. It does, she says. Or maybe it's true, he says as he takes her hand. I don't want to let you go, and I'm sorry too. I was just so hurt. I've hurt a lot of people and did some despicable things in my life. My ex, Nina, I've loved her all my life. Couldn't imagine my life without her. Happiest day of my life was the day I married her, and the second was when we had our baby, but it's okay. You don't have to, he says. No, I want to tell you. I want you to understand why, she says. Okay, he says softly, holding her hand, listening to her. Well, she started having a lot of success in her career, and it became everything to her. She worked all the time. She was always out on publicity events, and our kid was such a handful as a toddler. It became almost suffocating to me. Amanda paused as she sighed and then continued. Then, when we started having a decline in our physical relationship for almost 3 months, I had an affair with an employee. Jack? Amanda nods. Yeah. Thought it was okay. My home life was fine. My kid was getting better. Nina was still the workaholic she was, and I was getting my fix. We were all happy. Then she caught me red-handed in the act at my office, and that was it. I begged her to forgive me, but she wouldn't. We said ugly and horrible things to each other. She threw me out, then told me to come back. I came home, saw the house keys, her rings, and divorce papers. She moved away. Amanda paused as she closed her eyes, feeling a tear come out. He lightly cupped her cheek and smiled at her as she continued. Then I moved too quickly into a relationship with Jack, and he asked me to marry him, but I didn't love him. My daughter hated him. and he was mean to her. You know the rest, but I hurt him, but he hurt my little girl, so I decided to be by myself, live for myself, and do for myself. Sold my house and my business, moved here, started a new clinic. I didn't want love, and I didn't need it. Then, he asked as he held both of her hands. I met you, she said softly as she sniffled, gazing into his eyes. And you make me feel amazing and wonderful, and I don't feel I deserve it, she said as she broke down, bowing her head. Tony sighed, trying to fight back his own tears, and then said firmly, You listen to me. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, is deserving of love. You shouldn't feel like you're poisoned because you're not. You've done some wrong things, but you know that, and you're not trying to do anything different. You're trying to make up for it. He kissed the top of her head, placing his forehead against her, and whispered in a gentle voice, If anyone deserves love, it is you. Amanda placed her forehead against his and looked into his eyes, saying through tears, But I'm so shattered, broken. I feel useless, she said through tears. You're not, he told her. If you're broken, pull the pieces back together. I'll help you. We'll glue them together. I don't know how, she says. All I know is when I'm with you, he says in a gentle tone, looking into her eyes. You make me feel whole. And it makes me feel like I want to do everything possible to be a better man for you. So let me make you whole too, he says as he kisses her, and then catches the time on the clock on the wall. Oh, crap, he exclaims. What? Oh, Ark, I gotta go. I gotta get ready. I gotta leave now or else I'll be late. What time do you get off? Tonight, 11. It'll be late. I'll wait, she says. I'll make you some dinner. You'll have a hot meal when you come home. Thanks, he says quickly. But I gotta go now. My boss will be furious if I take any more time off. Okay, I'm leaving. Have a great day. I'll see you later, she says as she grabs her purse and keys. She gives him a quick peck on the lips and heads out the door, realizing she's walked out in his robe and her clothes are still on the floor of his apartment. After he got off work last night, he came to her apartment to find candles lit and a delicious dinner waiting with wine for him. His robe had been washed and dried, and she waits for him in only her robe. He kisses her hello and wraps his arm around her. Well, he says with a smirk. This is nice. Glad you like it, she responds. Do you want to take a shower first, or would you rather eat? I am starving, he says. Then have a seat, she says as she goes into the kitchen and serves him dinner. He takes a seat at her table. He's very touched by the offer. Could it be he's winning her over? After their dinner, he gets in the shower. She joins him. Then they cuddle up and kiss on the couch, wearing their robes, staring into each other's eyes, and spend the night together at her apartment. In the morning, they are both in robes having breakfast. Tony is wearing his white robe and she is in her blue silk robe. They are laughing and enjoying each other's company. There is a loud knock at the door. Amanda goes to answer it and is annoyed by Nina standing in her doorway. Tony's eyes widen and his mouth drops. Nina comes in looking very annoyed and jealous. Is this who you're doing now? Nina asks sarcastically, pointing to Tony. What do you want, Nina? Amanda asked, annoyed as she crossed her arms and shut the door. You're Nina? Nina, come on? Tony stammers with wide eyes. Your ex-wife is Nina, come on? Yeah, Amanda groans. So the Nina you told me about? That's her? Tony asks. What? Nina asks, annoyed. Amanda nods, huffs, and puts her hands on her hips. Yeah. Why? You want an autograph? Nina snaps at him as she crosses her arms. Could I? He asks with excitement and a smile. I loved Hot and Heavy and Tortosa. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. 7 Starlight Accolade Awards with Judith Ward in the lead. It was amazing. Plus that song by Thornton Bailey Moon. Incredible. Nina rolls her eyes, takes a pen from her purse, and scrolls out her autograph. Yeah, Judith was a pain in the ass to work with. Constant rewrites. What's your name? Tony, he says. Nice to meet you. She continues to write and hands him the photo. Amazing you know how to pronounce my name right. Everyone screws it up, including her. Well, after almost 7 years of marriage, you'd think she'd know better. Nina growls, waving her hand at Amanda. Amanda sighs with her hand over her eyes, shaking her head. Really? You're still picking on me for that? It was a slip-up from time to time. So were a few other things you did, as I recall, Nina snaps. Amanda shakes her head and grits her teeth. I can't believe you went there. And you wonder sometimes why we divorced? I'm Salvadoradian, Tony says. My parents are from there. So I'm familiar with the pronunciation. Thanks so much. Nina, hop on. Wow, I'm going to frame this, he says with a wide smile, holding his prized autograph. Nina rolls her eyes, shakes her head, crosses her arms, and growls at Amanda. Oh, great. You're dating a fanboy. Nina, Amanda snaps. Her arms fall to both sides with her hands and fists. What are you doing here unannounced and uninvited? Our daughter is why, Nina begins. You have canceled on her 3 times. When are you going to see our daughter? I'll do it this weekend if it's okay with you, Amanda says. Yeah, it's fine, but now the schedule is messed up because of you, and Nina yells. Do you realize you could have messed up my plans? Amanda scoffs and asks in a sarcastic tone, what plans? Watching your soaps, running on your treadmill, working on the next great bestseller? Nina narrows her eyes at her. You.
Hey, Banu, submerge.
Tony watches the exchange and sees the heated argument between the two. They breathe heavy and snarl at one another. It almost looks like they're going to jump into a passionate kiss and go at it on the couch. He wonders if he wasn't here if that might have happened. Tony finds this entertaining and arousing. Amanda steps back, taking a breath. I was going through a hard time, Nina. I needed to take care of myself. Carrie would have been miserable. I was in a bad state. Nina snickers, crossing her arms, looking over at Tony. Bad state. Take care of yourself? Yeah, I see how you did that. Nina, if you have nothing else to say, I suggest you leave, Amanda growls, pointing to the door. Just do what you're supposed to, Nina growls with her finger at Amanda's face, making for the door. It was great to meet you, Tony says with a grin. I mean, this is awkward and all, but still great. Nina shakes her head and says, yeah, thanks. Amanda sighs and says, Nina, have her come here on Friday. I'll give her the whole weekend. And you, Nina says, turning to Tony, you better watch yourself around my daughter. If she cries because of you, I will. I know about Jack. Nina seems taken back by it. Then he says calmly, I would never upset her. And I won't come near her unless Amanda says it's okay. You have my word. Nina nods her head. You just watch yourself. And then as she's about to leave, she turns to look at Amanda. And you do what you're supposed to. I will, but you shouldn't be rude in my home or rude to my guests, whoever they are, Amanda yells back. Nina sighs and says in a low growl, given the past, I'm allowed to feel bitter. Yeah? Well, so am I, Amanda growls back. Nina stares at her for a moment. There is hurt in her eyes, and then leaves. Amanda slams the door and curses. Damn it! Tony is shocked. I can't believe your ex-wife is... Yeah, so what? Amanda says in a huff. I'll tell you, whoa. You guys have some fire, Tony jokes. What? Amanda asks with annoyance. I can see at one time you two really loved each other, Tony tells her. That kind of heat and passion is still there. I mean, that exchange was on fire. You guys look like you were gonna... Don't tell me you were aroused by that. No! Tony laughs nervously as he clears his throat. But yeah, I could see why you two loved each other the way you did. Yeah? Well, not anymore, Amanda says with a growl. And I can't believe you getting all fanboy over her. I love that movie. Never read the book, but the movie was amazing. You ever watch it? Tony says. No, I never did. Hot Nobi and Tartosa caused me to sleep many a night alone, both when she was writing the novel and the screenplay. Amanda says, we should watch it. Judith Ward is amazing. She's so cruel as that girl's alcoholic mother. What? No, Amanda growls. It's a good movie, Amanda, and maybe it might help you in a way, Tony asks. Help me? Not interested. Well, now you know, Amanda says. Is this going to be a problem? Because if it is, I'm good. No, he says, taking her hand. Not at all. I just never met a celebrity before. Nina Gabon? Wow, she's up there. It's not what it's cracked up to be, Amanda growls. It was rough, huh? Amanda nods. Yeah, I made mistakes too, but she's never taken responsibility for her part in how the marriage ended. Yeah, she's bitter and blames me for most of it, but if she had ever. Amanda begins to cry. She realizes what she's doing and stops. I'm sorry, she says in an embarrassed tone. I shouldn't. It's not right to do this in front of you. It's okay, Tony tells her. Don't feel guilty. You both hurt each other, and you have pain. Let me just hold you. You can cry if you want to. I'm here. And she did.
So that's where we're leaving off in chapter 8. I can't wait to show you chapter 9. I think you're really going to like it. There's a lot of levity in that one too, like there was in this one. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is one of my favorite episodes, I got to tell you, just because the fight with Nina and Amanda is just, it just makes you laugh. But I hope that you enjoyed it today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Nina and Amanda. Take care. Thanks for watching.